In this lesson, we'll be learning Breaking the Law by Judas Priest. I'm going to break it down for you and make it really easy to play. We're going to be going over the main riff, verse, pre-chorus, and chorus. So make sure you're in tune and let's get rockin'. Let's learn the main riff of the song. In our fretting hand, we'll be using the A and E strings. In our right hand, or picking hand, we'll be using all downstrokes. Let's take a look at the individual notes we'll be working with. First we have our open A string. Then we'll have our first finger on the second fret of the A string. Then we'll have our second finger on the third fret of the A string. So we have this walk-up motion. 1, 2, 3. And that will be played 3 times. After, we'll have our first finger on the first fret of the E string, followed by the third finger on the third fret of the E string, with an open A at the end. We have another walk-up motion, and that will be played twice. Let's go through these 2 pieces together. Now to finish it off, we'll be using our first finger on the third fret of the E string, our second finger on the third fret of the A string, and our first finger on the second fret of the A string. Now let's play them both together. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Let's check out another angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Down to our E string. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. That's our main riff of the song. Now let's go over the verse of our song. Let's go over the chords. We have our A power chord on the 5th fret of the E string. We have our C chord starting on the 3rd fret of the A string. We have our G chord on the 3rd fret strumming on the E string. We also have our D power chord strumming from the 5th fret of the A string. And finally, we have our E power chord strumming from the 7th fret of our A string. Now let's look at it at a different angle. We have our A power chord, our C power chord, our G power chord, our D power chord, and finally our E power chord. Now let me break down the verse a bit and I'll count it. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. I held my A chord for the duration of 2 whole notes, a tied note. Then I brought it to my C chord for 2 beats or a half note, and then we go to the G and we have an anticipation going into the A. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And if you hear in the recording, you'll hear there's a little scratch sound before the C chord, and that's on the 4 and, right before the C chord. So, one more time. So we've got A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Now let's go over the verse for the second rotation. We change to the D and E power chords instead of the G and A. So that'll be at the end instead of... So let's count it together. 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's look at it at a different angle. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is the same rhythm except for the slight variation in chord changes. That is our entire verse. Cool, so now we're ready to learn the pre-chorus of our song. We have our F power chord, and that is on the 8th fret, strumming from the A string. This is a brand new chord. We haven't played it in this song yet. So if you count up to the 8th fret, start with your first finger there, and then your 3rd finger on the D string on the 10th fret. Our second chord that we have is the C power chord on the 3rd fret. Then we move back up to the F power chord on the 8th fret. Then after that, we go to our E power chord on the 7th fret. Each chord is held for 2 whole notes or a tied note. So let's count together. So we start on our F power chord. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4 to the C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Back up to F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Then down to E. 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Great. That's the entire pre-chorus to our song. 1, 2, 3, 4, Now let's learn the chorus section. This is where everything comes together in the song. First we have our A power chord, which we've played before already. Then we have our A5 power chord, which is new. Notice the difference between these two. The A5 power chord has a higher pitch than the normal A power chord. So just take a second to go back and forth between these two diagonally. So you're playing the A power chord on your 5th fret of the low E string. Then the A5 power chord is on the D string on the 7th fret. Now just take a second to go back and forth between these two chords because we're going to be moving quite quickly on this. Okay. With our right hand, or our picking hand, we'll be using a palm muting technique using 8th notes. So remember, you're going to use the palm of your hand right here and lightly mute the strings to give it like a muffled sound, right? So this would be not palm muted, and this would be palm muted. And we're going to have a 1 and 2 and feel, like 1 and 2 and feel. Let me go over the chorus with you and we'll go over the accents used. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 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 2. Breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law, breaking the law. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Cool. Now that we've gone over all the parts in the song, let's play the entire thing together. So we're going to start the main riff, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Let's try it one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, and 2, and 3, 4. Down to our verse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3. Let's do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Down to C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Up to F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Down to E. 1, 2, 3, 4, 2, 2, 3, 4. Now the chorus. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Now that we've gone over all the sections of the song and you have it in the palm of your hands literally, practice this thing slow, perfect each piece one at a time, take your time, listen to the track, and have a fun time playing it, and I'll see you next time. Thank you very much.